there to see Phil? Or?
He was there to see Andy Dick. Him and Andy Dick were hanging out, and I think they were both off the rails.
They were having fun.
They're having a good time.
Yeah. Fucking, that sucks. I hate it.
Well, that's horrible. But
that was a good time of life, though, huh? That news radio shit.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was Spade and Phil. And
no, Spade wasn't on that. Spade was on that other show, Just Shoot Me.
He was on Just Shoot, but I thought he did a couple of things.
He did.
Maybe.
Yeah, he definitely did. Yeah. But a lot of people did.
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
Was that your first big?
Yeah,
that
was the first big thing. I did a small sitcom that nobody watched before that called Hardball.
Hardball. What was it about?
It was a baseball show on Fox.
I think I remember
lasted
that.
like 5 or 6 episodes.
What were you on that?
I was a baseball player.
Oh, you played baseball?
I did in high school.
Oh yeah,
a little bit until I started doing martial arts. And then I kind of gave up all sports.
Gotcha. That's cool, man. I want me to tell you my martial arts. It's not that big of a deal, but I grew up in Manchester, New Hampshire. And a lot of guys were tough, fought and shit. Fights would happen. And then I had the idea. I drove by downtown. I saw this guy. I can't remember his name, Mick something. And I fucking saw kickboxing. I was like, let me take kickboxing just in case I can fuck somebody up. Because that'd be fun to have that secret weapon of kickboxing and, all of a sudden be able to kick someone in the face. That'd be great. And so I talked my buddy into it. Or maybe he talked me into it. But I think, anyways, we both go, and fucking like 15 guys in there from school, all already doing it, already advanced. And I was like, all this did was make me realize these guys can kick the shit out of me. I thought guys I could take. I was going, oh, fuck, that guy can crush me too? I had no idea. But I'm never flexible. So I think I quit after like 4 or 5 sessions.
Flexibility is something that everybody can gain. It's just you just have to go through the process. Flexibility is not something like, there's like certain amount of explosiveness and athleticism that some people just don't possess, and it would take a long time to get there. But flexibility is something that you just have to work at. I've seen very inflexible people become flexible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What? Just by doing it every day?
Doing it every day and just sticking to a routine. You just got to force yourself past the pain.
I'm just nervous. My hamstrings are gonna pop. They're so fucking tight.
You know what you should get? You ever see one of those things where it's like a strap and you put your foot into it and you like pull back on it? Those things are great.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know.
Just take a yoga class.
Yeah, I know.
Go to hot yoga. That's a cheat code.
No, that's a good one.
It gets real hot in there and you get a lot looser.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. No, my wife's good at that shit. My daughters do it. I just fucking it hurts my lower back and my hamstring so much that I end up just going, all right, I get up and do a fake water break and just stare at them.
So how was working on this special? I saw you in Vegas. I saw you stand up in Vegas. It was very funny, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Very funny. I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate it, man. I had a great time making the special. I have a great time on the road. I can't believe it. I fucking quit doing stand-up for, like 20 years or something.
What made you want to get back?
I think I was doing Grown Ups and Rock and Spade and Schneider and KJ were always talking about next weekend I'm going to Niagara Falls, and I'd be like, these guys are all fucking having fun on the road. And then I think Apatow was doing Carnegie Hall. He was hosting something, and he said, you want to do some stand-up again? And I just go, yeah, let me do that. And I did it just to make sure that I fucking put together 15 minutes or something. That got me back into it.
And did you just piece it together by doing small sets, or how did you write out an hour?
I think maybe I did a couple of improvs or something. Maybe I went to the improv a couple times, but mostly from doing Letterman. I used to do Letterman and do 2 segments. So I'd fucking sit down with my buddies, write jokes, and just go out there with jokes, and kind of trusted that, that's a good joke. And I think I started doing that with stand-up too. Just going, this is pretty good. Let me just do it.
And then, when did you start booking gigs?
I did same shit. I called the guy, this great guy whose daughter was going to school with mine. He would talk about booking acts and shit. I said, I was thinking of doing stand-up again. You want to book me some shows? And then he just booked like a 10-city tour for me, and I said, all right, I better fucking put an hour together for that.
Wow. So how'd you put the hour together? Did you go to the Improv? Did you go to the store? Where'd you go?
A couple times at the store, Improv. I would drive out of town, the Valley, maybe an hour.
Like the Ha-Ha.
That kind of shit. Yes, yes. Anybody.
Flappers.
Exactly, Flappers. Flappers, good spot to try shit out.
Yeah.
I just did a bunch of. Maybe I went down to the Comedy Magic Club. Is that still running?
Yeah,
Yes, I did. I
for
did.
Sure.
Yes,
Hermosa
yes.
Beach. That's a great club.
Good. Yes, exactly. Except I remember growing up, I would always see Leno and Joe. What is it? Joe? Not. Is it Brogan? What was?
Jimmy Brogan?
Jimmy Brogan.
Yeah, the booker.
Yeah, but he did
stand-up as well.
He did stand-up, and they were so clean, and they would fucking annihilate. And I always felt self-conscious in that place for how filthy I was. And I'd be like, these people don't want to see this.
Well, the Comedy Magic Club is like the cleanest club in the country.
That right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Miller used to book it.
Did he?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Apatow used to always go there.
Yeah, that's a great little club.
That's a good club. So I forced myself to get a good album. Now when I was on the road the last tour, I have so many, I have so much shit that steps on other shit, so I can't really do it all.
Right.
Because if I already said this, so that this joke doesn't make any sense now. So, but I was fucking doing 2-hour shows, and it wasn't that big of a deal.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Because I remember struggling to do an hour of my whole stand-up life. I'd be like, my God, how fucking... The crowd's so bored with me now. I can't come up with new moves, But now, got enough shit. Keep them rocking.
So how long have you been steady doing stand-up again now?
I think like 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must feel good, though, right?
It's nice,
to get
man.
back into like a real flow, like a real headliner flow again.
100%, yes.
And go, oh, yeah, I missed this.
I did miss it. I didn't even know I missed it.
It's the most fun.
Absolutely. You fucking were loose. You set yourself up to do a live fucking special. I don't think I could handle that, man. My head be spinning way too much, man. But
I had to over-prepare.
But you didn't have any pauses. You were just boom, 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 boom. How long were you doing that set?
I did. Well, because I have my own club, that helps a lot, right? So I was doing 2 shows a night, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I was doing 6 hours of stand-up a week, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And then I was doing podcasts and all the other UFC stuff that I do. It's a lot of work.
Right.
That got to be too much. So then I knocked it down to 3 sets a week, 3 headliner sets a week, and then I would do a bunch of short sets. That Bottom of the Barrel show that I told you that my friend Brian Simpson hosts, that show's the best.
Yeah.
It's like a premise factory.
Yeah.
Because you have this whiskey barrel on stage, it's filled with notes from the crowd. Yeah. It's all just different ridiculous ideas for premises, and you reach your hand in, you pull one out, and it's just, frogs are gay.
Right.
Like whatever it is. And then you just start ranting about it. And you try to come up with bits. And
you land
every now
on
and
good
then
shit.
you get 1 or 2 every set that you write it down. You're like, this could be something.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And a couple of them made it onto the special.
That's incredible.
Because it's like it's a premise factory.
Absolutely.
So I had a lot of material. I was getting ready to do a special I was going to do one in August of 2020. But then, obviously in March, everything shut down, and I didn't do stand-up for 8 months, and it was just, and then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what, I just feel like just working on my material now. I just feel like just working on stand-up and not even thinking about the special.
Yeah, that's a great feeling.
But it's just, I was just enjoying working at the club, owning the club, and then there's so many good guys at the club. It was just such a fucking hot spot.
Right.
And there's so many people. There's Shane Gillis and Mark Norman and Ari Shaffir and fucking Brian Simpson and Tony Hinchcliffe. It's just like every night was just murderer's row.
Right,
and we were all just cooking together.
That's big.
And then when Netflix said they want to do a live special with me, at first I was like, fuck that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I said no. I told my manager, I was like, no. I called her on the phone. I was like, what? I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then I was driving home, like, why are you scared to do that, you fucking pussy? And I was like, as I was driving home, I was like thinking it. And then when I got home, I called her back. I go, don't say no yet. I go, let me think about it.
Yeah. I've had those feelings,
And then the next day I said, all right, I'm going to do it. And she's like, you sure? I go, yeah. I'm going to do it because I'm scared of it.
That's ballsy, man.
I was fucking terrified of it.
Of course, I'm scared thinking about doing it. I would never fucking do it. But you killed it. You killed it. You were loose. You were rolling. You crushed.
Well, I did that set in order for 3 weeks straight.
Right.
So I had it locked in for 3 weeks. I didn't do any which I always fuck around.
Yeah.
There was no fucking around.
Yeah.
No deviation
That's
for 3 weeks.
You were steady. Exactly.
I also wrote all the bits out by hand. I wrote them all out, even the ones I already knew. I wrote them all out. I wrote all the transitions out. I listened to recordings. I watched videos.
That's big. Yeah.
I beat myself into the ground.
That's good.
I over prepared.
Right.
So that when I got up there, there was no what is next. There was no thought.
You didn't have a beat sheet somewhere just in case you got lost?
No.
That's fucking balls. I would never be able to do that.
But I wanted to treat it like a regular show. If I had a regular show, I wouldn't have a cheat sheet.
Well, I never did when I was young, but now I need fucking a word. I need to look somewhere and see the word.
What do you like? Put like index cards on the the stage?
No, on a monitor. I just look down and go. It says like just
popcorn.
one word, popcorn,
right.
and then I'm ready. Because my head goes to space. I get spacey as I got older. When I was young, I was prepared and boom, 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 and I did my shit. But I think it helps me kind of relax a little bit, just knowing that if I'm lost, I can look down and see a word and go, yeah, do that.